Hello and welcome to the SoundLab podcast interviews, unedited. On today's show, interviews from Joe, Hermes, JERUB, Henry's Funeral Shoe, Terminals and Meryl Streek for you to enjoy. So without further ado, let's crack on and play you our first interview from Joe Hermes. He's in the middle of releasing some new music and we had a chat with him all about it. So Joe Hermes, how are you?
Good, Jim. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called A Real Good Bad One. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
This single, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play live. It's not like a typical Joe song where it's deep and got a lot of messaging. It's really just it's about being out with some friends and realizing a real good time's about to happen. And tomorrow is going to be a bad one. So it's kind of just that play on, let's have a real good bad one.
Yeah, no, that sounds sounds very true to me. And you've been busy releasing music over the last few months, and I believe we're gearing up towards a new album of yours. Tell us a bit about where you're at with the music.
Yeah, I mean we've been pretty much writing nonstop and releasing. I think we released like 9 singles last year, and we've done, this will be our third this year. Slowed down just a little bit, but we've been doing a lot more writing. And yeah, I don't know if we've decided quite yet when we're gonna put an album out. Probably be more like an EP at this point because we've just been doing so many of the singles. Just but a lot of great music. A lot of great music's been coming out, and I'm just excited that we get a chance to put it out for everybody else to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure with all the singles you've been putting out there, you've got a sense of what's doing really well for you and your sound. Do you know what direction you're wanting to take your music in?
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, we're really trying to thread the needle between country and rock. I'm naturally more of a rock guy, and the country, the storytelling and things like that. I think it's just a way. The better we can capture both sides of that, I think it translates best to the audience. So if I go too rock, too heavy, the messaging gets lost. And if I go too country, there's just something that's not quite as believable with me. And so I think, you know, trying to find our own lane that works for me has been the goal. And it seems like some of these songs, like a honky tonk feeling and a real good bad one, um, have gotten pretty good responses. People like the up tempo stuff that they can kind of groove to, and doesn't get super deep on them. They can just kind of listen at surface level and have fun with it. So that seems to be doing well. I think we'll probably end up doing a few more like that and see where it goes.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. And I like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, normally I have some kind of thing lingering in the back of my mind, usually when I'm driving down to Nashville or I'll be sitting at home. I've got a whole notebook full of ideas that, when those ideas come, I jot them down, and then I kind of start circling on things that stick out at any given time, like kind of what's going on in the world or my life. And, um, I think the best sessions are when I come in with an idea of I want to get around this concept, or this is going on. The harder sessions are like, well, what are we going to write today, guys? And everybody's kind of like, I don't know. That's happened a few times, and then I learned very quickly that those guys that I write with, they feed off of me. So it's up to me to come in and bring something and that idea in, and then we start developing. And since that kind of clicked, it's worked well.
Yeah, good. And I've found out over doing these interviews over many years that artists mainly struggle when it comes to combining the lyrics and the music together. What's that process like for you?
Well, I'm not. I'm more of a writer, and l- having the production side of it with the different phrasings and melodies, I'm pretty simplistic in that. And so you get around guys that really know how to turn that phrasing into something special. It's a craft. It really is. And I've learned a lot over the last few years working with these guys. And I would say that you're absolutely right. I mean, the getting the ideas down and getting them into song form, a workable song form, and then just playing with the deliveries and the melodies and letting your producer have some freedom to work as well. It's just a big give and take. And everybody's pulling ideas from everybody in those sessions, and it just seems like when you get the right guys in the room, the good songs start coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been busy recently doing some shows with a few more left to do. How have they been going at the moment?
Great. Yeah, it's my first experience in the UK, and I've had a blast. Our first show, the first night in South Wales, they blew me away. They were singing lyrics to all my songs, calling for encores, chanting my name. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? They really, really made us feel welcome, after a long trek over here. And then we had a little showcase thing at the Half Moon Putney in London the next day, the next afternoon, and it was more of the same. I mean, chanting encores, and then it just it's been received very well, very well. And then we had a show Sunday that was a little more laid back. It was outdoors at in Chelsea, covered outdoor show, but it was chilly, so I mean, it wasn't quite as busy as the first two, but it was certainly a lot of fun, and the people that were there were locked in like from start to finish. And I will say that that experience, the audience here in the UK is very uh, welcoming to an artist. In the States, you have a very mixed bag of people out there. You have the ones that want to listen and be respectful and take it in for what the artist is doing. Then you have a lot of people that are rude and don't. And it's very nice to see the customary behavior here that I wasn't aware of before I got here. So it's been very cool to witness and be a part of. It makes me excited for the next show.
Good. I'm glad we've given you a good impression here in the UK. But
Mhm.
yeah, there's only just a few more dates left on this run, and no more dates booked in yet. What's the plan for doing some more shows?
Well, we have actually, and we have not released it or announced it yet, but I've actually just booked most of my February and March up here in the UK, and again in May's pretty much filled up as well. So things have kind of just ignited here recently, and I think I'm going to have to learn how to drive on the other side of the road because I'm going to be here for some time.
Yes, yeah, do that, and then you'll be good to go, I am sure. And we can't wait to have you back. But you've toured many places now, obviously back home and over here. Where else have you not been to yet that you want to go and play at some point?
Wow, just really anywhere. I mean, I think experiencing the culture. My wife is from Brazil, and I think doing a tour in South America would be awesome. And then the chance to go around some of the towns that she's from and have shows there, I think would be pretty neat. But yeah, we were in Finland, and we did a Finland tour in September. That was a lot of fun, and uh, that was the first time I've been to the European side of the world, and I've been to South America a few times visiting, but I'm not that well traveled. And in the States, there's some pockets in the States I would like to go out towards. I haven't done anything around Texas, and I haven't done anything out on the East or West Coast. Everything's been pretty much through the Midwest, Illinois, Iowa, Tennessee, Kentucky. So I think wherever they'll let me play and people want to hear the music, I'm willing to go at this point.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Joe Hermes. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab ES on all the socials. You can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and find us on the socials and to give us some follows, we've got our next interview from JERUB. He's been releasing new music, including a mixtape, which came out just last week, and we had a chat with him all about it. So, JERUB, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called Kumbaya. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, Kumbaya is a single from my latest record, my latest mixtape called The Wonder Years. And really the song is a song that I wrote about, you know, I think we're all searching for peace, we're all searching for release. And really it's figuring out for me that that thing that I'm searching for is really searching for me. And the word kumbaya comes from an old hymn and spiritual that really says come by here, and it's that plea for help that we all need.
Yeah, absolutely. And as mentioned, that is off your new mixtape, The Wonder Years. For those who've not had a chance to hear the release yet, tell us a bit about it.
Wonder Years, yeah, it's my latest release, released I think a week ago now, and yeah, it's a bunch of songs, 7 tracks that really talk about what it means to be present to the very moment that you're in, and also to be okay with asking questions and feeling the pain and feeling all the highs and lows and everything in between.
Nice. And the sound that you made with this mixtape, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
It's both and it's definitely, in those sessions we just allow things to flow as much as we can, but also it is definitely how um I wanted it to be. It was crafted, and I wanted really to have this record be as raw, intimate, but also anthemic as possible.
Nice. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again down the line, or is it a case of starting afresh when the time comes?
Both and, I'm always writing songs. I'm always looking to write new songs, but also some songs are just not for that time, and they're for the future. It's one of the hardest things as an artist to let go of the songs that, you know, you, you really want to put out into the world.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I like to talk about the writing process. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, it can be anything from a melody to a lyric idea or to a concept. Quite often it's an emotion or a story, something that I experienced that sparks a thought, that means I want to, put it into writing.
Yeah, fair enough. And when it comes to combining both music and lyrical worlds, how easy or difficult do you find that? Because I know a lot of artists seem to struggle with that element.
That's a good question. I think for me, um, I write them simultaneously. So it makes it a little bit easier because you are writing the song as a whole rather than in two separate camps. Um, and that actually like gives it a little bit more of a natural, authentic feel.
Hmm. And how does the layering up work? Because it's not just you and the melody. There's obviously instrumentation there as well. So how straightforward and how does it work for you when it comes to the layering up?
Yeah, so I work with, on this record, I worked with mainly an amazing producer called Ed Holloway. Um, and his big thing was trying to get me to play as much as possible. And as sometimes, like, when someone else is a better piano player, I'm like, you just play it. But, there's something about, you know, my feeling that I get down on the parts. So really, it's just building it layer by layer, trying to figure out what parts feel best where, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've now started your tour. How was day one?
Day one was great. It was great to be in Dublin. This is my second time ever there, my first headline show in Dublin. So it was really, really good time. And I've got Manchester tonight, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, yeah, good. And so that's going to last for the next few weeks, not just here in the UK, but Europe as well. Are you looking forward to the next few weeks?
Very much so. I love live music, so and any chance that there is to connect with people there in person is a chance worth taking.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to take us through until pretty much the end of this year. So what have you got planned for 2026?
And I just want to finish 2025 strong. I'm not sure. No, I always say, to do more, to write more songs, release more songs, and play more live music is always the goal. So you could probably expect more tours and more music.
Yeah, are you hoping to go further afield outside of the Europe area?
Yeah, we'll see. I hope so. I got this year is really special. I got to go to Australia this year, so I don't know how further afield you can go than that. Um, but maybe even further this next year.
Sounds good to me. And finally, is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to go and play at some point?
Yeah, so many places. Um, I'd really love to go to South Africa. Um, I'd love to go to New Zealand. I'd go to America. I've not played in America. Um, yeah, loads of places.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with JERUB to talk about his new mixtape and more. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you can also find a Spotify playlist, which is called Fresh, and it brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. And if you want to check that out, search for Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and save that playlist to listen to a little later on, we've got our next interview from Henry's Funeral Shoe. They've just got back together after some time off, and they've got more new music and touring on the way. So, Henry's Funeral Shoe, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, a little bit stressed out this morning, but it's all right.
Yeah, these things happen. But the big news is we've been playing a single of yours called Hey, What's Your Pleasure? Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Oh, it's just sort of we needed to get back out there and just to show that we're still active because we've been inactive for the last couple of years when our mum, well, we had COVID, then our mum got ill. Just as we were coming out of COVID, we started gigging again and blah, 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 and then took some time off to look after our mum, and then she passed away. So we just kind of like didn't know if we wanted to just carry on, but we clearly did. So we were like, right, this is our sort of calling card again. So we recorded the single and put it out to start getting momentum for later this year. Well, mostly next year, though, obviously, because this year's almost at its end. So for next year and in preparation for a new EP or an album. So yeah, and we just wanted a bit of a stomper. So that's what we decided to put out.
Yeah, good. It's we're glad to hear that you are back. I think it's 3 records that you've done previously. How are we looking at new music at the moment, and how much is done?
We've got it's a weird one. So we've done 3 albums and an EP, and when we recorded the single, we recorded a couple of more songs, but they tended to be a bit more on our albums. We've got some slower songs and some upbeat songs, which we don't play the slower songs live because our set tends to be more frenetic and just in your face, kind of like a Rory Gallagher thing. We wanted to go to, that's what we aim towards, I suppose. I mean, really intense. Even though Rory does his solo stuff, I suppose, or slow stuff. But yeah, so we've got quite a few songs actually, but it's the same old thing. We're just deciding what we want to put on the album. Are some too slow, or are they not heavy enough? It's just basically you just always write in really. So we might take a different approach though, because we found that we always, we've released albums, whereas people tend to be releasing EPs now, like a selection of EPs, because we're just taking a different approach really. So we recording new music, obviously that's just something you do when you write, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And how are the tracks at the moment sounding in comparison to the previous 3? And do you know what direction you're wanting to go in?
No, we never pick a direction as such. It's just like how the songs sound. So the influences remain the same. I mean, I don't like the term blues rock really. I just think of us as a rock and roll band. And for instance, one of the songs we've got done is very much like a Faces slower. So the Dave something off like Nods' Wink, some of the slower stuff there. And it's just a collective mix. I would like to put strings on this one, which we've not done before. I would really like to put strings on this EP or album. But that's the only difference, really. It's just literally trying to write the best songs you can write and getting them down.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
There's never any sort of thought into sort of changing things up in a big way. So the biggest thought we give is, if we write a song, can we play it live? And yeah, that's the biggest consideration we give to it.
Yeah, and you've touched on the writing side of things. So when it comes to writing, how do tracks normally start off for you guys?
Well, it's more collaborative now. In the early days, it was literally something like I would write, I suppose, the majority of everything in some ways, and even have the say on the arrangements. But we've been together so long, it's more collaborative. So it's depends. It depends. I usually like sort of write it on my own, and then I'll bring it to my brother, and we'll put it in the rehearsal room, and then see how that sort of goes. And so it always develops from there. And then sometimes we just in a room jamming and just materializes from there. And then you go home and work on the lyrics a bit, and then we tend to always put a phone in the room and listen to how the arrangement is and how things can change and all the rest of it. And yeah, it's the same process all the time. It's just to be your own sort of critic, really.
Yeah, and I know a lot of artists tend to find the lyrics side of things the most challenging part of songwriting. What's it like for you?
You know what? That's a really good point. I think because our music is very. I always said this. I was like, if we were an American band, we probably would have written like 50 albums by now, because the music tends to gravitate towards that side. But coming from the Welsh Valleys, you can't really write about rivers in Wales and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. It has a different type of thing. So, and it takes the lyrics do take a while actually to make sure that they sound authentic, if that makes sense, and they don't feel a bit cheapened. So it is a frustration where you've got like dozens of riffs and songs and stuff, but they're not, for want of a better word, they're not British enough sounding. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of something I feel is the biggest thing that's held us back, or held me back. But yeah, it's funny you touched on that. Something that's always sort of, but then when you come to the end of the song and you've written and you're happy with this, it just feels a bit more authentic rather than just chucking a couple of things together to make it sound to rhyme with Mississippi or wherever.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's 2008 you two kind of formed this band. How much has changed when it comes to the music, the process, or the kind of the working relationship you have with your brother?
Well, there's 10 years between us, and it was always like I always felt I was in charge, because obviously I was 10 years older. I'd been in countless bands. I'd done session work in London, and I'd seen the industry from different angles and stuff, and so it's completely flipped now. Where, like I said before, it's more collaborative. So it hasn't changed it hasn't changed in that way, in the sense that it's just more collaborative and a little less like bare chested, if that makes sense. Because the way I always think of it, and like I'm a music nerd, so I listen to whereas my brother is just a Who fan or a Creedence fan as such. I'm listening, I'm going through a stage of listening to a lot of rap again, political rap and southern rock, early southern rock. So it's I'm always thinking of like how the song will sound in the studio and different instrumentation and things like that. And he kind of fair play. He just lets me kind of like lead on that, because I suppose I have the years, for it, or the ears. Sorry, it's my accent. And years and years. It sounds the same way. But yeah, and then to step back, and then I trust him. Then, and he's like, if things don't sound right, and he's still a music fan, but yeah, it's not changed in a big way. Apart from, I think we would be more instrumentation, and that's about it, really. Yeah, I suppose like just trying to write hookier songs. That's the only thing I've always thought about is like trying to make the songs as hooky as possible, you know. So that hasn't changed really.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. And obviously now that you're back and releasing music, you'll want to be doing some shows. What's your plan for getting out there and doing some gigs?
Well, as part of it's a long story, but the whole infrastructure fell away during COVID. We had a really good agent, European agent, that just really played some magnificent shows in Europe, but he decided to like scale back and things. So we're just trying to get back. We're looking for booking agents and festivals, and we don't necessarily need a manager. I don't think anyone needs a manager right now unless you're of a certain stat level. You just need a good booking agent. You certainly don't need a record label as such. So that is literally our go-to now, is to look for new booking agents and play more festivals and gigs. That's it.
Yeah, and as you were touring for many years before COVID, is there anywhere that you didn't get to that you want to get to at some point?
Well, I don't think we're going to anymore, but in 2020 we had like a tour of Russia planned, and obviously COVID and then the war. I can't remember which one came first, to be honest. But yeah, that's sort of for the kibosh on that, and some Slovenia as well. But we toured, Europe. We did so many countries. America, we did a lot there. But Mississippi, we managed to do a tour in Mississippi, so it's kind of like a dream, that, isn't it? So we've. I know it sounds a bit arrogant, really, but we just kind of want to do what we were doing, because we achieved so much and enjoyed it. That I just think when the infrastructure fell away. When you're on the wheel and you're gigging all the time and touring and performing and stuff, you take a step back and you realize how full on it is, and you think, like, do we want to do that again? Especially there just seemed to be a lot of tragedy that happened around, not just with our mother, but with friends and other families. And it was just, I don't know, I think we were just emotionally drained. And then we got into the practice room again, and we were like, oh, this feels nice and good. And then you just want the excitement back, really, because it's so exciting playing live and being around like-minded people. That was the thing with COVID; it took all that away, and you miss all those like-minded people. So yeah, it was just like, no, we definitely want to do this again.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Henry's Funeral Shoe. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then if you head to our website and click International Radio Show, then you can hear all of today's interviews in an edited form, shortened down on our radio show that comes alongside a load of new music and a live session too. So make sure you head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Show. So while you go and find our show to save to and listen to later on, and find the previous shows as well, of course, we've got our next interview from Terminals, who we had a chat with earlier this year. So, Terminals, how are you?
Amazing.
We're good? Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Not too bad? Yeah. Here at Truck Festival, how's your festival experience been?
Incredible.
Wicked.
Amazing.
I'm trying to determine how I feel about the weather.
This is perfect.
It's kind of hot, but windy. So when
Yeah.
the wind dies, suddenly you take off your jumper, and the wind starts and you're cold again.
But we were at 2,000 trees earlier in the month, and it was insanely hot.
Yeah, crazy.
So this is like, even though that was really good, this is like really refreshing.
I was there too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sat out in that sun at a bench like this. Yeah. It was hot.
There was no way
2,000 degrees festival.
2,000. Yeah, 2,000.
Bottles showering each other in our pants.
2,000 wasps.
Not even dirty, just for fun. Just draining.
You were having showers with like massive bottles of water.
Yeah. In our pants.
Truck festival though.
Truck
Back to truck.
festival.
Yeah.
It's been insane. It's been really cool.
Amazing. Absolutely
Got the
incredible.
warmest response possible.
Yeah. We were like kind of not. We didn't know what to expect because the truck lineup is not as heavy something like 2,000 Trees, and the response was insane. It was amazing, incredible experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, loved it.
Good. And once you finish here this weekend, what's the next for you guys?
So the next gig is Cardiff. We haven't announced it yet.
When's this interview coming up?
Yeah.
This week.
Well, let it be known.
Let it be known. We are playing in Cardiff, but no details are allowed. I won't say more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And then Birmingham,
Birmingham Skygaze Festival.
20th of September.
20th of September.
Shout
Yeah.
out to them.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest lineup they've done so far.
Yeah, and
We're
then
friends
we
with.
venture north to Nottingham, but that's also not announced yet. So we can't say anything
We
about
have announced an EP. So
Yeah.
Upcoming EP Awake is
Yes.
coming out, our sophomore EP.
sophomore EP,
Who said?
yeah, our second EP.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's
8th of
coming out.
October, that's coming out. So, yeah. Yeah.
nice. What can we expect to hear on this E EP?
6 tracks. And how would you sum it up?
Lots of emotions. I'm going for serious answer here.
I don't know.
Riffs and angels, but yeah.
I say
Yeah.
emotions, you said riffs.
Riffs
somewhere-
and angels.
Somewhere a combination of those two things.
Yeah, it's our heaviest like set of songs so far, and yeah,
But really leaning into the massive ambient, sort of soaring chorus.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like we have this thing
James's vocals
when we
is-
started. We have this like triangle,
Yeah,
Of,
special
like-
little triangle.
all of the different sounds that we encompass, and I think our next EP leans more into every element of what we do. So
Nice. The sound you made with this EP, is it the sound you wanted? Or is it
Oh,
kind of
God,
just how it turned out?
I think it's a mixture of both, actually. Yeah,
Don't ask me who is the producer.
you go.
We tried our best, but once again, we tried to get into a studio for this one. Because
Yeah.
okay, everything we've done so far has been DIY. We just do everything in rehearsal rooms, and it's a lot of work. So we're like, maybe for this one, we'll go do drums or we'll go do guitars in the studio or something, just to make it a bit easier. And it just
For once, yeah.
for once, for
Yeah.
once, did it properly. Didn't do it. Didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 producers fell through, or one fell through. I don't want to start beef here. But the other, yeah. So we asked like 2 other producers. They were like, "We'd love to have you, but we're just not free for like months and months." So it didn't end up happening. Gone
Yeah.
DIY again. It's been another long story, but we made it. We've done it.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, I think like in terms of the production, I think it sounds great
Yeah.
as always. James is very self-critical, but he is actually the GOAT.
Yeah.
He doesn't realise it.
I
But
hate my own production, but then everyone else loves it. So
in terms of like the music itself, I think it's a product of the time that we wrote it in. That we've all kind of gone through a lot of stuff. For me personally, like kind of I don't know, like internal battles and stuff. So I think the music is more abrasive. It's more heavy. Lyrically, it's more like kind of internal struggle related. So yeah,
Fair enough.
really excited to get it out.
Good, look
and
forward
stuff.
to it.
Yeah.
For sure. I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So,
Mhm.
for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
I think usually it's some kind of like riff idea or maybe like a vocal melody.
it's one or the other. I've noticed. It's either a riff idea and it'll be a heavy song, and we'll go in with the riff, and
Yeah.
then kind of just expand from there, or it'll come in with a lyric or some sort of.
Sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I have a whole song in my head and sometimes we put it together the way that like it was in my head, but then also there's sometimes like we write songs completely organically off the ground in the room. There's like no there's nothing that we go in with, it's just completely on the spot.
It's mainly like time saving the way that we write music. It's because Joe lives in Southend.
Yeah,
Sorry to give away your location, but
we
It's
live in
like-
Birmingham.
yeah, so
So
we live in
it's- yeah.
Birmingham. So it's like it's hard to write songs when you're at a distance. So it used to be we'd have a song idea, we'd meet up, we'd write on the spot.
Yeah.
It's now a mixture of doing that, or James can just sometimes message us in the group chat and say, "Guys, I've got a whole song."
Or just a bunch of like I like to call it, rather than a song, a load of ideas that I have put in together, bridged, and then we meet up and we're like, does this work? Does this not? But like genuinely, we can get in a rehearsal room and be like, how many different ideas do we have? Let's pull them together, and we can come away with like 5 new songs. 4.
I think it's a lot of it's just I think the best part for me is it's a series of sort of that moment where you sort of like, oh, do that again. It's just like loads of those until eventually you have a full song, and then it's a point of like, there's no like, oh, that outro is that's my riff. It's like, no, it's not. It's like that, none of that. It doesn't get attributed that way. Lyrics and
it's always pulled together.
James, but we always pull together, and just a lot of it's So the EP, once you hear it, you'll listen. Like, it's just a bunch of reliving the moments where we all sort of went, oh, I love you so much. That was really cool.
But it always feels very easy. It never feels like it's a task to write anything, to put a whole like group of songs together. It always feels really natural. It just kind of happens, and
we don't struggle with writing that much. It's more getting the songs on paper and recorded, and
the logistics of it as well. Yeah, because we really, really want to go to a proper studio and record.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, but at the same time,
the dream.
But I say, but
some bands start in the studio.
But I say this. I always say this to everybody. Like, no matter what you think, he's a genius. I was about to swear. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He's a genius. Because we will go and record stuff in like a rehearsal room with like a couple of mics, and it always sounds great. It always sounds great, and I would say it sounds unique. You can't hack it. You can't hack this. No, but a lot of people online, especially on TikTok, always say like the production sounds great. The bass tone is so sick. The guitars sound great. The drums sound great. The snares wicked and stuff. So I think even though we haven't gone to a full studio, I think we've made an amazing lot of what we've had. Yeah. So, yeah.
Maybe we'll go to a studio and it'll be rubbish.
Imagine exposes us.
Got all these really good mics, and oh man,
sounds like this band
they're not even in tune.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Terminals from earlier this year. Now, if you like our interviews, then you can find little snippets and videos of our interviews from today on our YouTube and TikTok page. If you search The Sound Lab Yes on YouTube and TikTok, you'll be able to find little videos of our interviews. Plus, on YouTube, the interviews in full in our video format. So go and check them out at The Sound Lab Yes on YouTube and TikTok. Now, our final interview for today comes from Meryl Streek, who we had a chat with at 2000 Trees Festival earlier this year. So, Meryl Streek, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Back at 2000 Trees.
Absolutely.
You're back the following year from when you played it last.
Back with a bang, yeah.
How does it feel to be back?
Quite surreal. I think that year has absolutely flown in. I don't know if you get that as well, but it feels like it was only a few months ago. But yeah, last year was great, man. I didn't think I was going to be able to top it, but I think we did a pretty good job last night and today with that, so I was quite happy, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of festivals, then Christmas comes along, and then it's back to festivals
and
again.
then it's back, it's the in-betweens that just don't seem to exist anymore.
They just go.
Yeah, it's quite
January
wild, isn't it?
for me, however, just lasts for months.
Well, I was at Rockaway Beach in January. I was sat by a Christmas tree with my man and sister, and then I blinked and I was on stage screaming at people, and I was like, what's going on? Like, it was really weird.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah, the Rockaway Beach thing is like, it's the first of January, so it's really odd going from Christmas straight back into it. But it's a great festival, yeah.
Yeah, because we're all used to kind of cold Christmases, but then you think about Australia and all that.
Oh, stop!
They have barbecues on the beach.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I went on holiday one Christmas, and not for me.
Where'd you go?
Canary Islands.
Canary Islands,
yeah,
okay.
Lanzarote at the time.
Right,
yeah.
nice.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. But anyway, aside from that, what have you been up to music-wise?
I've been up to a lot, man. I've obviously been gigging a lot since I've last seen you. I'm trying to finish off the third album. Well, the second album came out. It came out last time I was with you, but I've got basically 8 to 10 songs of a new album there, but I'm just trying to figure out what to do, kind of just put it all together and see what I got. But I've been working. I never stop recording music, so third album there ready to go at some point.
Yeah. Do you know what direction you're going to take it yet?
You know what, man, I like when bands changed, and it was always around the third album. I'm not changing, man. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing and just, add a few people in that are going to help me with certain songs to kind of give it a nice weird mix and stuff, and a bit more of the same.
Yeah, nice. And you said you've written a whole bunch of tracks ready for it. How easy do you think you're going to find it to narrow it down to the 10 or so that's going to make it onto the record.
But you know what, man, even from the first 2 albums, like, I have so many B-sides sat there on hard drives, and it's not that, it's really weird. I think people would really like those songs, but I have this really weird thing where I never go back and rework a song. So when I do it, I make it, and I just find it really hard to go backwards, so I just leave them sitting there. So this third album, I've gotten a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, a couple of them from the B-side section, and they're going to be on the third album, and I finally went back and started reworking some of the stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see what people think.
Yeah, so are you one of those that writes a track but you're not sure what project it's going to make it on? Or,
absolutely, yeah.
Tell us a bit about the writing side then. How do the tracks normally start off for you?
A massive joint at about midnight, and then it normally keeps me awake until about 5 in the morning. Lots of tea with some sugar, can of Coke if I really want to go fucking wild, and I just work through the night. That's it, and I just find my groove, and that's pretty much how it starts. And then I'll wake up the next day, and it's really strange. I try my best to get a bus somewhere, and I'll sit on the bus listening to what I've made the night before. Then I'll go back and figure out what the fuck I'm trying to sing about on this one, and that's how it kind of works.
And is it normally lyrics first? Is it?
I've always got lyrics there, but I never really know what they're going to go to, and that's kind of the beauty about doing the spoken word kind of post-punky stuff. You can kind of fit lyrics on any track, really. So it's mainly the music first, but and then cross-check it with stuff that I've written in a book that I always just keep writing.
And when it comes to the lyrics, do they need to have a meaning for you? Do they have to kind of make sense? Because I know some bands write and they just don't care what the lyrics say and mean. How does it work for you?
Yeah, they have to mean something to me, man. Like I always say, if it doesn't hit you in the heart, it's not going to be on the album. So I want every song to at least have some sort of emotional whack to it, you know? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the songs are obviously about real cases and real people that have suffered through life, corruption, or cases that need highlighting in Ireland or abroad. So I do like to use my platform as best as I can and try educate people that don't know about these cases and stuff. Yeah,
nice. Once you finish here this weekend, what's your plan next?
I'm flying to Serbia tomorrow to play with the Sex Pistols, and the Boomtown Rats, and Tiesto is also playing at a Exit Festival. And then I'm back on Saturday. I got a week off. I'm back in London on July 26th, and then I'm touring most of September and August and stuff. So yeah, quite busy, man. And then Arts Tangent at the end of August as well, and then I got Damnation at the end of the year, which is going to be good.
Busy year ahead.
Yeah,
is there anywhere you want to get to that you've maybe not toured yet?
I want to do Glastonbury the year after the Null year, and I want to do Reading and Leeds and Download, man. Like I love these, I love trees so much and Bearded Theory, but I want to do Download. Yeah. So if you're listening, book me.
I'm sure they're listening.
I'm
sure they are. And what about worldwide? Is there any countries that you want to get to at some point?
I'd love to go to the States, man, but it's obviously so unpredictable at the moment that I'm also quite sad that it's happening right now. The States I'd love to do. I'm going to go back into Europe at the start of next year. Mm-hmm. Poland I'm excited to get back to. They're always very angry in Poland. So yeah, Germany and Poland are always good spots to hit.
Yeah. And when you look at your Spotify stats and see where people are listening in, is there any surprises on there that
Australia?
Yeah.
I'm getting so many messages from Australia, but they're making it seem like it's just a taxi ride over. It's like, come play here. I was like, yeah, I'd love to, but I need a few grand for that, which I'm probably not going to get. So I would love to do Australia. My friends in Bruise Control did that this year, and they had a ball. So Australia would be great, yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Meryl Streek from 2000 Trees Festival from earlier this year. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back next week with more interviews. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk and make sure you find our fresh playlist on Spotify. And we will be back next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.